And to grasp the topic in better manner, I'm joined live by Dr. Hamoud Salhi, professor and associated dean of international education from California, USA. First of all, Dr. Hamoud, face-to-face for over 2 hours, U.S. President Joe Biden and Russia's Vladimir Putin squared off in a secure video call to notice that an invasion of Ukraine would bring sanctions and enormous harm to Russian economy. What are the outcomes of this online call between U.S. and Russian presidents? Do you think this online video will surely bring the crisis to an end, or this is just another political show of power?
Thank you again for inviting me. There are two sides to this story. Let me get you back to the same situation in April of this year, where the Russian president and President Biden and the American president met to discuss at that time what the Ukrainian crisis. We were in the same situation. At that meeting, President Biden suggested that they will meet at a different time later on to discuss a full range of issues. This would be arms race, nuclear proliferation, Iran, climate change, and so on and so forth. So at the time, President Russian said, I'll think about it. So came this meeting. So this meeting is a continuation of the agenda that was suggested by President Biden. So behind the scene, there are a number of range issues, all designed to discuss the strategic depth of each party, particularly the expansion of NATO. Now, Ukraine happens to be the reason for this meeting because of what's happening in the Ukraine. But the Russians are very clear. We are not going to negotiate the expansion of NATO, and they want some guarantees. One of the guarantees to make sure that the Ukraine will not have any NATO presence. So for the American side, it's trying to rally or to find an alternative, as President Biden has suggested, an alternative to this demand.
Dr. Hamoud.
Now, that's what behind the scene. In terms of the video, it's public show, and we'll continue to see the negotiations moving forward at different levels. The Ukraine officials are visiting Europe, UK, and so on and so forth.
Dr. Hamoud Salhi, I'm sorry to cut your train of thoughts, but is it suitable to say we are almost on the brink of another Cold War between these two superpowers and in general between the West and the East, since even China and the US have some escalation over Taiwan? And can this be escalated to a real war in the future?
The Cold War is really a misleading concept because it assumes that there is a hot war, and it's as if you put yourself in a bathtub and you have, instead of water, you have fuel, and you have a match. So the Cold War is that if you put the match down, you are going to destroy yourself and destroy everything. The Cold War mentality was built on deterrence. What we've seen these days is a change of competition. For example, when you look at the Biden strategy, national strategy, they use terms that are not of the Cold Era. For example, it refers to China and Russia as competitors. To China, for example, it also refers to as an assertive international competitors. To the Russian is destabilizing country. And it means it has an effect on their strategy. What the Americans are looking from the Russians, and what they always wanted, is to have a predictable and a stable strategy, which the Russians don't want to do that for obvious reason. So the terms Cold War is misleading on another level, that today technology, cybersecurity, the world is interconnected. The whole idea of deterrence through military means is no longer viable. Today, the countries are so interconnected. So what you see heightened tensions between countries and lobbying and game planning and using the main thing as a tool is either cybersecurity activity, espionage and so on and so forth, or sanctions. And this latest decision, this latest crisis tells us that when the United States threatened the Russian of severe consequences, remember that since Biden took over in January, the American have put 17 type of sanctions against the Russians. So even that
Dr.
sanction
Hamoud Salhi,
regime that
thank you so much for
the
all
Americans
this
are talking about, it is difficult to achieve.
Dr. Hamoud Salhi, thank you so much for this clarification. Lack of time, otherwise we will always stay here. Joined us live from California, USA. Thank you so much for being with us. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.